Hi everyone. My cat's headbutting me and just sitting on my armrest. It's so adorable. And she's just purring. Abby. She's so small. I'm thinking about getting another cat, but then that means 2 poo trays, 2 visits to the vet, more food, more kitty litter, so in terms of the cost and the time, and I already struggle to give this one as much attention as she demands. A little unsure, a little uncertain. So today's video is all about periods. Yeah, so someone's cycle has me thinking about periods and wanting to talk about them. I find that women in most cases are just happy to talk to their friends about it and they're open about it, but when it comes to men are like, oh, just stay away, I don't want to hear about it. And sometimes when you go to doctors because you're not happy, because you're, say, in pain or you're suffering horrible PMS side effects, sometimes they won't take you seriously. So I want to talk about things that, my experiences, my thoughts, and things that have worked. So my experiences, I get really bad pain. I've doubled up on the floor before crying. I've, had my mum on the phone whilst I've just yelled into the receiver thinking I was going to die, saying I need to call an ambulance. I'm in that much pain, and she's just, been really supportive on the other line, going, it's okay. It's going to end. If you call an ambulance, there's not much they can do to you. They will probably just observe you and you'll be in a different environment in that same pain. On that occasion, I did in fact call an ambulance, and there was some comfort knowing that I was in a place where I could obtain further medical assistance if needed. In the end, my painkillers that I had given myself earlier did eventually kick in, and the pain subsided, and they talked to me about maybe going on to the pill to stop the periods, and that's a whole nother thing. Who knows the long-term side effects of pills? They can lead to polycystic PCC, polycystic ovary syndrome. You can get cysts down there, and I don't personally want to put the pill in me, because in the past I've suffered even more side effects, and it doesn't always work. And I figure if I'm going to be natural, why not just continue that way and see whether I can manage the side effects myself. So for example, some things that I do in the lead up that help, say, with side effects like depression, anger, irritability, increased appetite, is in about the week beforehand, I will religiously go to the gym. I go pretty much every single day. I work hard. I come back, I then make sure that I go to bed early. I drink a lot of water. I have the right amount of vegetables, the right amount of fruit, lots of water. And the vitamins that I take as well that also help are fish oil. I'm just running out, but magnesium also really helps. And sometimes if I can't sleep, some of the insomnia, I may take kava, which, depending on what state you are in Australia, it's like I think it's a Fijian herb. It comes from, I think it's the roots of the tree, and they actually have it as a traditional drink over in their country. It's more of a social thing, and it's actually an instant relaxer, but it does help you sleep. So it can give you it can give you sort of vibrant dreams. So if you have nightmares, watch out. But that can help. As well as that, I just try and look after myself, prioritize myself. Sometimes I might feel sad or weepy, and I have like a list of films that I'll watch when I'm PMSing, like The Blind Side. Oh my gosh, that makes me cry every time. It's so beautiful. Just films that I know that are going to make me cry, but at the same time, because I need that emotional sort of moment where I can pour out all those feelings. That really helps. As well as that, I try and read books that are going to provide some assistance. So, I'll read mindfulness books like The Power of Now, just read a few pages, and then it'll build me up. It'll remind me to be more level-headed and come back into the now and not get drawn away with my thoughts, which, are possibly not helpful and are feeding my negative feelings, but at the same time, those negative feelings, everything's exacerbated by hormones. So that's what I try and do. I also, because you can get low iron, I'm sort of prone to borderline anemia. And I think it's because of the amount of gym that I have, and it may just be the way that my body maybe perhaps burns through iron, is I try and have at least 2 fillet steaks during my period. So I'll have one about the week beforehand and then the week of, just to replace the iron, because you are having blood loss, obviously. And I'll freeze that up, and I've always got them in the freezer ready. And because I do forget to eat red meat because I don't really like eating it, and I know that if I don't have it, I feel pretty rotten. So that's one thing that I like to do, and that helps. And I also like to finish, like, I know afterwards, you know, some people will just keep going on. I'm really pedantic about personal hygiene, and I have about a year's supply of Lush bath bombs in my bathroom, and I'll always have like a nice bath afterwards once the week's gone by, and that will really help me. You know, I've had people say to me, you know, maybe you've got endometriosis because you've got really bad period pain, and I've actually been tested twice. And I'm talking about general anesthetic tested, and you know, even fertility tested to make sure that everything's working. I'm fine. I'm 100% working and in good order. It is just genetic. My whole family suffers this. My mum used to get sent home from work when she was younger because she'd go green. She'd look like she was about to pass out. And my sister, she chooses to go on the pill because she just can't handle it. She said, you know, I'm sick of it, Mim. I'm going to be on it. I'm not going to have it. So that works for her, and I'm really happy. Unfortunately, the pill, when I skip it, I still have really bad PMS. But the moment when I stop PMS and I go onto my period is like a moment of peace and tranquility. But when I skip my period on the pill, that doesn't come, and I just have continued PMS. And it's not so much the anger that's the problem, it's the emotional side effects. They're really exhausting, you know, and it can greatly impact your life, and it does to me, and I constantly have to be really vigilant and work on myself. And you know what, it's just part of being a female. Certain things work for certain people, and if you're in a similar boat, I always recommend seeing a gynecologist. They are the experts of your women's region. Get it inspected and talk about your concerns. I did, and I think it took me, in terms of understanding what's going on and knowing the whole options, like I could get an IUD, I chose not to. I'm 100% just going natural the way that my body intended. You know, see someone who is that expert, who can tell you your options, and you can explore that together. It took me about 1.5 years to get to this place now, and it wasn't cheap. You know, seeing a gynecologist is expensive, and having surgeries, my gosh, that's been expensive. But all up, I have no regrets, and I know every month that I'm 100% prepared. I've got the right drugs on hand to help. I've got the right vitamins on hand to help. And I know who to call, and I have my gynecologist on speed dial. She said, you know, if you ever decide you want to go to get an IUD, call me and we'll do it. We'll do it under another general anaesthetic, and you'll be set for the next few years. The reason I didn't do it is because my family is pretty much against it. I respect my family's decisions and opinions, and I always go to them for advice anyway. And in the past, I know with the early IUDs, there was a real risk of you becoming barren, that it would impact, I think it would get stuck in your, somehow it would go through your ovaries or something and mess up your ability to reproduce. So I decided not to get it, and I thought, as long as I can manage the pain, it's all good. I don't want to be on the floor like crying, scratching my arms, that much pain. FYI, when I spoke to my mum about her pain, she said when she gave birth and she was having contractions, she said, this pain's really familiar. I've had it before. Labour pains, the same as your period pains, is pretty intense and crap. So yeah, I don't know if you've had a horrible period before. Thoughts, comments down below. Bit of a personal TMI video, but I think it's always good just to open up and be honest and start conversations. And hopefully, you know, if you're experiencing something terrible, you know, maybe this has been of help. Maybe it's spurred you on to your next, you know, your next thing to do to try and fix it. FYI, in the end, it just turns out no endometriosis. There is a term for what I have, like a medical term, which basically translates into really painful periods. So good to know there's nothing wrong with me. Really grateful, but at the same time, it's something I've got to manage, and it will probably stop and fix itself once I've had my first child, if I choose to have children. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you for my next video. Bye.